It's the waitingfornextyear.com podcast. My name is Dave Sterling, here with friend and favorite guest, Chris Clem. Chris, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Dave. How are you?
I am excellent. I will clue the listeners into this old person chat I was having with you. Me being more old than you, I am thrilled that my school levy passed.
I'm quite upset about it because you guys need to keep Nordonia affordable.
If you want us to keep producing the Denzel Wards of the world, you're going to need to shell out some money for a better training facility, even though Denzel Ward donated a bunch of money to the training facility.
Look, if I go out in Macedonia, I'm looking at spending probably $45 at Chili's. Then I got to go pay for some overpriced movie tickets at the Cinemark and get popcorn. That's expensive. I can't afford taxes.
It's true, especially with the new Culvers that's coming in. You're going to be dropping all your bucks on Butterburgers.
Exactly. And have you had the cheese curds?
I have. They're good.
Yeah, so are the shakes. That's what I'm saying. All of my dispensable income is gone. Gone.
And that wraps it up for this episode of The Waiting. Hi guys. We're going to talk about some stuff. The NBA playoffs are still going, I guess. The hockey playoffs are over to me as a lifelong Blue Jackets fan.
Number one team in Cleveland.
Yep. Well, 1.1 after the Beach Nuts, obviously. Maybe 1.2 after Beach Nut hockey.
Oh, Beach Nut. Actually, probably 1.3 after Beach Nut basketball, too.
That's true. I'm a real Thad Matta fan.
I loved Scooney Penn.
I love
20 years ago.
That one guy they had, though, the white guy.
I'm a big fan of John Diebler.
Don't make me Google Buckeyes hockey to start naming Buckeye hockey players, and then
if
Google will think I'm interested in it.
The draft would have taken a flyer on him. He could have hit some threes off the bench. The Cavs should have taken a shot at him.
I mean, what, you give him a camp invite? What's the worst that could happen?
He would have been great with LeBron.
Here's the thing that maybe nobody cares about. I am been advised by a doctor to cut out the carbs out of my diet, okay? And so I'm looking to do that. I Googled a few things. If you'd like to forever taint your Google results, just Google keto. And every ad from here to probably the end of the universe will be some sort of powder, mix, gross-looking fake bread, and these weird sandwich things that don't look good at all. I think the main benefit of the keto diet is anytime you're hungry, you think about a couple, like having some more meat or cheese, and your body's like, nah, you know what? Never mind, I'm not hungry anymore. So it's going well.
Sounding like a vegan over there, Dave.
Actually, if I was a vegan, I don't know that I'd be able to eat literally anything. I guess you're allowed to eat vegetables, but still.
They have cruelty-free dairy products now, okay? They're just as good. Soy-based cheese is just as good as the real thing.
See, that's not true. I'd rather, just not have it. And actually, I'm allowed to have real cheese.
If I put it on a Butterburger, you'd still like it.
Here's the ironic thing about the keto and the low carb. I could eat the burger and the cheese. It's the bun that's the problem. And probably the ketchup. If you put ketchup on a burger. Do you put ketchup on a burger? A lot of hidden
sugar and ketchup.
Do you put ketchup on a burger, Chris?
It depends on who's cooking it.
I like a burger. Like if I'm going to test out a burger place and compare it, and maybe not like a fancy high-end burger place, but like a Swenson's level upscale fast food. My go-to is a burger with no cheese with just ketchup and mayo. Do you have such of a go-to burger that you're like, this is how I'm going to judge it against the other burgers?
I don't know if I have that deep of an evaluation system, because if I go to Swenson's, I'll just get a cheeseburger with everything, which is really not everything. It's just mustard, pickle, and onion.
Yeah, it turns out they have a lot more stuff.
It
than
turns
than
out if you
everything.
go to their Swenson's food truck, not to get on a tangent, but if you order an all-in burger from their Cavs theme menu, it is just a regular cheeseburger with mustard, onions, and pickles.
Man, that's rough.
But they also had, this is dating it, this is from, I think, 2016. They also had a Big Three burger, which was a galley boy with an extra patty and slice of cheese. And I've asked them to make it, and they have refused to.
Did the guy run back, ask the kitchen, and then run back out and go, sorry, I can't do it?
Yeah,
Is
he's
this
like,
only
we don't
food
know what
truck?
that is. And I said, it's literally a galley boy just increased by 50%. Just add another patty
You're
and
like,
cheese on.
Don't worry, I know the recipe. I will share it with you.
And I guess they didn't have a way to ring it up, which was, frankly, quite upsetting.
Yeah. Well, see, that's I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to start talking about hamburgers right now. Now I'm hungry. Would like a hamburger.
I'll tell you what I get at Five Guys.
Okay,
I
tell me.
get jalapenos,
Okay.
mushrooms, onions, and usually barbecue sauce.
You like to load up that burger.
Yeah. My ideal burger toppings are mushrooms, onions, and Swiss cheese. That would be my perfect burger topping.
Isn't that that's a Wendy's burger with the Swiss and the mushroom, the big Swiss mushroom burger?
Is it?
I think so.
And a lot of like bars, usually depending on how bad the food is, that's usually okay to get.
They'll dress it up with that. Yeah, yeah. I'm more of a plainish burger type where I don't like a lot of chunky things on it, but I do like sauces. But I
Gotcha.
will say that onion straws are a big exception. I love onion straws on anything.
Onion straws can be pretty good.
Or like the old Burger King rodeo cheeseburger with barbecue
Oh,
sauce and onion rings.
Oh, yeah. I was a big fan. You ever been to Fuddruckers? I used to get everything off that burger bar.
Probably
Get, like,
19 to
quarter
20
toppings.
years ago, I went to a Fuddruckers. There was
See, I
one
used to-
briefly
I-
in
I-
Montrose.
Yeah, there was up on the hill. There was one in Tower City, too. I used to go before Cavs games.
Wonder if the Auntie Anne's is still open in Tower City.
It was the last time I checked, which was Christmas time.
Because the McDonald's closed.
Did it really?
That's what I've heard anyway. This is exhilarating chat about food. Everybody's hungry.
You know what? The McDonald's did close because I go, how the hell did McDonald's go out of business?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what's still kicking? Sakio, Japan.
It is, and I think that's probably... I don't remember what radio station studios are just upstairs. But it's probably them coming down for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
There's a radio station up there. This is a terrible podcast right now. So, Kyrie Irving out of the playoffs.
That's not terrible. People need to know about their food court options in downtown Cleveland.
Kyrie Irving's out of the playoffs. I can't help but say I'm fine with it. I love it.
I'm not fine with it. I'm really happy. I'm glad he went to a real sports city with real fans. And how's that worked out for him?
Real poorly.
Oh,
Yeah.
zing.
I have not watched any playoff basketball because I don't want to. The Cavs season ended a month ago, and I'm fine. I did watch some Columbus Blue Jackets hockey. That got disappointing in a hurry after it looked fairly promising.
Can I use this time while we're starting to talk about the NBA playoffs to give a shout out to NBA League Pass for refunding me my money for this month?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I had to cancel it because I used to only get the season long subscription, and this is the first year I got the month by month. And I wrote them an email saying, I had no idea you would still charge me. The Cavs aren't in the playoffs, and I don't want to go back and watch a team with that winning percentages games from the past. There's literally no reason for me to go back and watch. And then they refunded my money, and they said, thank you for being a subscriber, and we hope you subscribe again in November.
We hope your
That was the
team
way to do it.
has enough wins to warrant this in the future. And that was nice about the Browns this year, actually, is that you can go back and watch some of those games and go, hey, we won.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
I'm trying to think of which, what's this season's signature Cavs win?
I had a good answer before. I would say pre Kevin Love return from injury when they beat the Nets at the last minute by a dunk by
Oh yeah,
a
the
guy
buzzer
who
beater
got
dunk.
traded at the trade deadline. I don't even remember. Alec Burks? No.
Let's call him. Um,
I can't even remember who was on the team this year. That's bad.
let's say it was a guy named Alan Jensen. Made the dunk at the last minute. They certainly did not win the game that you and I went to, which was the last game of the season.
No, but Channing Frye went off
Yeah, he did.
in the last 2 minutes.
And he kind of looked at the coach and went, "Hey, maybe you should have done this earlier than garbage time."
It was Alec Burks.
I thought I was under the impression that it was Alan Jensen, but that's fine. Alec Burks, if you've been able to look it up.
It was, so I was actually right.
So that was a signature win. You're right. That was a fun one. The Cavs,
And then after Kevin Love came back, they had a couple fun wins.
well, a lot of their games, even if they lost, were fun.
That's true. A lot of
After
them were
Kevin
fun.
Love came back, they were a lovable bunch. I think this is exactly what we talked about last time.
I was just thinking, wasn't Dylan there? But it was just us too.
Yeah, we tried to get Dylan there. We tried, and he was
You
like,
know,
"Oh, I have
this
to
is
tend to my
sorry.
children." He's just sitting there knitting them sweaters and stuff, probably.
He's been getting a lot of use out of that Arthur Cav shirt.
He has
See that popping up on the IG?
yeah, his mood.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
I just forgot what I was gonna say.
Me too. Ladies and gentlemen, the idea of just starting this podcast with
I
no
remember
plans
now.
seemed really great. But let's continue.
There was a viral tweet, and by viral, it had like 20 retweets, and it was about the Blue Jackets or the Crew. This just shows how little I know.
A Columbus
And I was
team
like,
that's
wow,
not the Beach Nuts.
What?
A Columbus team that's not the Beach Nuts.
Yes, exactly. And I looked at who it was, and I realized it was one of the fantasy sports boys. No, hot sports boys. I'm getting all my sports boys podcasts mixed up. I'm sorry.
Which was so it was just a very popular tweet that like popped up and said that someone liked it or something in your feed.
Somebody retweeted it, and then I saw it had a lot of tweets, and it was Yaz.
It was Jason. I do like Yazin's tweets because it's one of those things where it doesn't show up often, but when they do, they're quality, you know?
Yeah, well, I guess it was big for all those, all you Crew fans.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody cares about soccer on this podcast. So in Major League Soccer, they have a thing called VAR, which is video assisted refereeing. And that is essentially instant replay. And so there's a guy on the sideline who tells the ref through an earpiece, "Hey, go take a look at that," because that was weird. So Columbus's player, Will Trapp, and one of DC's players kind of came together at the halfway line with the ref in between them. And the ref pretty much took out the DC guy. The DC guy fell a little bit easily, like you do when you're a soccer player. And off of that play, Will Trapp passed it across the field. They advanced it down the field and scored a goal. And the referee went, "Well, it was kind of my fault, so I'm going to go and look at VAR and then call a foul on Will Trapp of Columbus and just say that the goal doesn't count." Even though there was no foul, there was no contact between Will Trapp and the DC player, but he's like, "Well, I got to make up for me being in the way." And then there were a few other controversial calls that game, but it's like, okay, we're just going to go back and take this goal off because the referee, who is technically part of the field, knocked out one of the players of the other team. I'm sure Yazin had something to say about that, but I don't know what it is right now.
I bet something snarky.
I said something snarky to the effect that when DC scored their goal, I was like, well, wait a minute, there was a foul back in the 7th minute. We should take the goal off, because how far back can you go? And that's what gets sticky about the video-assisted referee.
So basically you're saying it's pointless.
Life? Yes.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Nihilism Podcast, where we discuss the fact that life is pointless and we're all going to die.
So where are you doing this from again, Dave? Your basement?
The pit of hell, which is my basement.
Which is in beautiful Sagamore Hills. I mean, if that could be the pit of hell, then
Are you
it's pretty nice.
Are you doxing me right now?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I've never seen a Marvel movie, Chris. Not one. I think I started to watch the Avengers once, and then because that one was filmed in Cleveland, right?
Well, yeah. So was Captain America: Winter Soldier.
And I think I tried to start it, and then kind of didn't. I just got distracted by something. Is it? I asked you this on Facebook. I'm going to ask you this. Put you on the spot now. How many movies do I need to watch to understand the most popular movie of all time?
To watch the newest one, how many do you need to watch to understand it?
Did they Did they do a previously on Avengers Endgame?
No. So what I said on Facebook, which is true, is people will say, "Oh, you should watch every movie," and yeah, they call back to most of them in some small way or big way. But in order to understand the movie, all you have to do is watch Captain America 3, Civil War,
Okay.
Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame.
So 3.
That's it.
Okay, that's
just
good.
2 movies before this one.
If I miss a couple of winks and nods back
most
to old ones, I'm fine. You know, if I don't get every intricacy. But like I've found in Game of Thrones that skipping the last 3 seasons, I have not missed a lot that's relevant to watching this last season.
Yeah. That's pretty much like Infinity War explains who Civil War explains who Captain America is, who his friends are, who Iron Man is. It introduces Black Panther and Spider-Man, and it sets the conflict that leads into Infinity War. And then Infinity War explains Thanos and everybody else. I mean, maybe if you saw Guardians of the Galaxy or a Thor movie.
I saw Guardians of the Galaxy on my own, I guess. That I did not realize it was part of that.
I'd say Guardians of the Galaxy and then Thor Ragnarok, just so you can see what Thor, Hulk, and the Guardians crew is up to. But besides that, every other character, their whereabouts and their thoughts are covered in that, except Ant-Man and the Wasp, who get enough in Endgame that I don't think you'd be lost by it whatsoever. Ant-Man's in Civil War. I forgot about that, actually.
I think it's time, and I did not invent this concept, but I'm going to promote it. Instead of saying man, we should say min.
Min?
So Spider-Man, Ant-Man,
No.
Superman. I think it's time.
There was some guy who used to be on Howard Stern that always said that Spider-Man was a Jew because of that name.
Okay.
I'm sorry I don't have a better reference for him. I never heard it. Somebody told me that.
Here's the thing about Howard Stern, since you've brought up an excellent topic. Howard Stern, I would say, is one of the best interviewers that there is on the planet. And why he decides to do half of his show, or I'd even say a third of his show, being the best interviewer on the planet, talking to interesting people and getting a lot of interesting stuff out of them. And then the other 2/3 of his show is the dumb people that he keeps around him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I get with the Sirius XM, which everybody knows Mr. Craig prefers XM to Sirius.
Sirius has too many dumb DJs and they don't play a wide enough breadth of alternative music.
That is the Mr. Craig voice. Yes, and so I would pop on Howard Stern every once in a while, his channel, to see, is there like an interview on? And it's like, well then, Donnie came over and he farted, and then you hear on the sound effects in the background. And I'm like, does anybody actually like that part of it? Are we still enjoying the sound effect button and there's a stripper in the studio, or then we went to Scores? Am I just lame?
Hey man, there's nothing more entertaining than listening to a woman take her clothes off on the radio. Okay.
Oh man, you can hear that fabric, especially when it's Velcro.
Hubba hubba.
Now I'm just complaining about things. Let's go back to Craig. I'm going to do a little search here on the internet. And I'm going to see the last time Craig did any sort of podcasting.
Okay.
My keyboard is a little bit infringed by this microphone. And
you gonna edit this out later?
No, I'm leaving it in. I'm not.
Okay.
When we do these podcasts, if I edited stuff, I wouldn't know where to start and where to begin.
Well, that's fair.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's not that. Not that one. Page 2, I guess. Oh. It's taking so long to load. Craig hasn't recorded a podcast since March 15th.
Wow. Was that in his car?
No. He was talking to a graphic designer and pizza mogul.
Oh, okay.
Admittedly, pizza mogul, yeah, I'll get him on. But since then, hey, guess when we podcasted? April 4th. A lot sooner than that. And we talked about a lot of the same things about the Cavs.
So let's move on from the Cavs. How about that Tribe?
You know what? The funny thing about the Tribe is all of the bad things that have happened to the Tribe have all been to the pitchers, which was the strength of the team. And then the batters are like, hey, we're here to help. And then they don't do anything. It's like all of the pitching staff is coping with the nonsense that's happening to them. And the bats are like, no, we can't do anymore.
Yeah, it turns out no matter how much good pitching you have, if you can't even score 3 runs a game on average, you're going to be bad.
Yeah. And so tonight, they lost, I think, 2-0.
Yeah, they did, to the Chicago White Sox, who are awful.
Yeah, and so pitching staff, 2 runs, that's pretty good. It's pretty good by a banged-up pitching staff. I'll take it. But, can't get a GD hit.
They're 18-16. They've lost 3 in a row, and before that, I think they lost 5 out of 6. I think at one point they were 13 or 15-9, 16-9. Anyways, they're 18-16 now. They're in second place. And as good as Minnesota is not overall, they might end up, getting the division, because 2 years ago, people thought they'd be a team on the rise. Last year, they were just bad. And if the Indians, keep falling apart, no hitting, they might not make the playoffs. And then what will the Dolans do with their imaginary money they didn't spend?
Not spend it. That's for sure. Like, maybe they should just buy a hitting coach, with that money. If you ever played, a strategy game, Civilization, stuff like that, you're like, should I buy new units? Or should I just upgrade my existing units? Maybe they need to just get a hitting coach who can teach these guys how to hit. Is that
enough
thing?
Nerd talk. This is a sports podcast.
Sorry.
Make a baseball video game analogy.
They need to hit C. All right? I'm tired of them swinging for the fences. How about some contact? Swing for contact.
I heard Civilization 4 is pretty good.
I like to stay one Civilization behind because it's generally really cheap on Steam.
Yeah.
And all that the new ones do is just make it so complex you can't understand what's going on at all.
That makes sense. They got to up the ante somehow, much like the Dolans. They need to up the ante when it comes to the Tribe.
And I'm not talking Ante Zizic.
No, although,
He might be a better hitter than these chumps.
That's true. Put him at first base, see what he does.
We could teach him baseball. I know he's never seen it before, doesn't understand the sport, but give it a shot.
His foot speed would not be an issue at first base.
No.
Can I tell, this is probably, I don't think I told this on this podcast before. I don't remember if I told it on mine, but I have an Ante Zizic anecdote.
I don't think you did, but if you did, I'm not afraid to go redundant.
Okay, so last year on one of my rec league basketball teams, I played with a dude who was from the same country as him, which I believe is Croatia, but I might be off on that. I could remember Alec Burks, but I don't remember where Ante Zizic is from.
Alan Jensen.
And the guy sucked, but he thought he was really good, and he was telling us about how great of a player he was in Croatia, and I was like, I don't see it. But anyways, he claimed to be friends with Ante Zizic, and he would always say he was going to get him to be on my podcast, and he even gave me Ante's, I don't know if he gave me his phone number or an email he said was his. I never used it. But he told me that he didn't know if he'd be allowed to do it because apparently Ante did an interview in Croatia or whatever, or he told his friend. I'm sorry, this story is actually not that good.
No, keep
and
going.
he said that LeBron James was racist towards white people, and that's why Ante wasn't going to get a chance until after LeBron left.
Prophetic.
I did say this to him. And I said, if LeBron was racist towards white people, why did he make the Cavs trade for Kevin Love? And then without a beat, he said, well, not American white people.
Why did he play with Yuri Welsh so well then? I ask you that.
That actually made me think about it. Who is the best foreign player LeBron ever played with?
Jetty Osman.
I was going to say Anderson Varejao.
Damn it! Forgot Anderson Varejao.
Ilgauskas.
Oh,
the guy
geez.
went to Miami because he was friends
yeah.
with him. I'm beginning to think this guy's theory that he was racist towards white Europeans is actually wrong, and he just didn't like Ante Zizic.
Well, geography update for you is Brazil is not in Europe, Chris.
Yeah,
and for somebody who was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you should know that. So you've been eliminated. That's my final answer.
It's in South America, Dave. I know that.
But yeah, literally, I was recounting and I watched on YouTube LeBron hitting the game winner was it an Atlanta series or against the Pacers from last year's playoffs? Who's the first guy he ran up to and hugged? A white European.
Jetty?
Yeah, a white European named Jetty. Who's the guy who invited to play with him and Kevin Durant at some summer camp? It was Jetty. I'm beginning to think that this guy was kind of full of shit.
You know what? I think he was too. Now now I'm mad because I already didn't like him and I hated playing with him. And now I'm mad because he's lied about that too. He probably doesn't even know Ante Zizic.
What's the intensity level of rec league basketball?
Depends on what league you're playing in. That one was pretty good.
Are there any leagues where people are just kind of hanging out? Like it's competitive enough that it's fun, but nobody's really getting mad?
Yeah. I subbed in a friend of mine's league last night, and the other team was very bad, but they were trying hard and they were cool, and they got spotted 11 points because not enough people on our team had matching jerseys, which makes sense because we were all subbing in, and I think we ended up winning 70-25, and they were still pretty cool the whole time.
See
And
that,
I say that because the only reason we beat them by so much is because the subs, I think, were better than the guys who normally play in that league.
yeah, we like to bring in on our co-ed soccer team. We like to bring in ringers whenever possible.
Really?
And I will say that the co-ed aspect in my soccer league helps with that. There are still some pretty intense people, but the D-bag ratio is usually like one dude or maybe two per team. Whereas I played on the men's team once. I subbed in for them, and it's like 6 to 7 D-bags per team. And you're like, guys, it's a Tuesday night. We're all 35 and older. We all have ACLs that are probably just hanging on for dear life. Let's just chill out a little bit with the kicking each other. And nobody listens. So I went, stuck with the co-ed.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense because like the league I play in on Wednesdays is usually pretty competitive. Like we only had 5 guys last week and we lost by like 26 points and it was pretty bad. Like 3 of the guys on our team looked like they hadn't played basketball before because like I don't have many friends here. So I know one guy and we'll sign up together and then whoever else we get put with is just usually a random crapshoot. And sometimes we've won the championship and stayed with those teams. And other times it's like the worst team in the league by a ton because in rec league basketball, like I think I'm pretty good, but I'm not like the guy bringing the ball up or anything. So there could be games where I barely get to touch it and don't do anything.
Well, especially basketball is a very chemistry intensive sport.
Yeah, for sure. But that one's pretty competitive. But if you play at the same place on Saturday mornings where the games start at like 9, it's very casual because the people playing then are more likely to be like people with successful careers who don't want to play at 10 o'clock on a weeknight.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think that's a weeknight commitment is a dedication level that would probably accompany a guy who's kind of a dick about playing rec league basketball or rec league soccer.
Yeah.
Like if I'm, like you said, if I'm willing to go out at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday, I'm probably going to kick you in the shin.
Exactly. But if you play on the weekend and you might have even got brunch before the game, you're just having fun.
Lagged down by pancakes running down the court.
2 mimosas in.
One in a Gatorade bottle that you're just squirting into your mouth. No, you're not going for that? Fine. Are you gone?
And I got ribs.
Oh, you're back.
Even though I had to play a basketball game because that's how casual I thought that basketball game would be. It's like I can eat a whole rack of ribs an hour before the basketball game.
I'm not even going to use the wet nap. My hands are going to be sticky. I'm going to get the ball all sticky.
Yeah. Steve Nash complained about the composite fiber they used when the NBA switched balls being too sticky. I have the same problem. It's just barbecue sauce.
Remember when didn't they do that in like the middle of the year? Or was it the start of the year? And just everybody
switched back
hated
in the middle
it.
of the year. Yeah, because they hated it so much.
Everybody hated that thing. All right.
Are you
some
keeping
trivia.
up with the NBA playoffs?
No. I know that Boston's out and that I don't like Golden State. The 2 things I know.
How has that changed from the last 5 years?
None. It's pretty consistent.
Boston's not actually out yet. It's a 3-1 series, but there's
who's going to come back from a 3-1?
It's tough. Not many teams have done it before.
You think Brad Stevens put $1,000 in the locker room? So they say, we're going to come back and get our money, like Ty Lue did.
Yeah, he put a mutual fund up in the ceiling, though.
You guys got to earn it. How mad would you be if Kyrie Irving went to L.A. to play with LeBron and Ty Lue?
Go for it. I mean, at least then I wasn't keeping up with the Lakers to begin with. I'm not going to keep up with them with Kyrie. You might as well put all the players I don't care about on one team. I don't want to say I hate LeBron. I'm completely indifferent to it. I wish him the best. But Kyrie, he can. I almost swore, but I don't. I have strong negative feelings towards him. So go on that team, and then they can just recruit all the players I don't like. And it can be the one team I never watch. Why not get Isaiah Thomas? Put the whole band back together.
To me, that's the entire Western Conference is that one team I never watch because the games are too late.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I get it. They start at 10:30, but I don't like the Warriors, and I hate Kyrie. So put him on the Lakers. Good to go.
Put him on the Lakers. Have LeBron do chill mode for a while. Activate playoff mode and have that not work at all.
I mean, I got the Clippers if I want to watch an LA team.
That's true. Clippers are better than the Lakers by a long shot. And I don't even watch that much basketball.
And I would love to see Patrick Beverley guarding Kyrie for an entire series.
That's true. Except the Lakers are never going to get to a playoff series because they're not going to make the playoffs even with Kyrie.
Ooh.
Yeah,
well,
they probably
Ty Lue
will.
is their coach.
Well,
no, they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll probably make
I actually like Ty Lue.
I like Ty Lue as well.
Crap he didn't deserve.
He got a lot of crap he didn't deserve. I also agree with the Cavs moving on from him, mostly for his sake.
For sure.
He's a LeBron managed personalities coach, not a develop young guys coach. So
yeah.
I don't think he got any sort of raw deal, but you're right. He got a lot of crap for not being a good coach, but it's like, no, he was a pretty good coach, and he also won a championship.
He got a raw deal. I was thinking more from the fans, but as we've seen just this year alone, like when you're coaching LeBron's team, if you can get him to literally do anything that you want him to, like if you can convince him any of your strategies are a good idea, then that's the best you could hope for. And when you look at it through that framework, it's like, okay, he was a pretty good coach at getting LeBron to kind of listen to him.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
typically why the Lakers hired him.
Yeah. Did they make that official?
Well, Mark Stein said it's official. They just haven't announced it yet.
All right. Well, I'll take it.
I also want to say before we wrap up the Cavs talk that the team shop puts their City Edition jerseys like on sale apparently immediately as soon as the season's over, because they sent me a thing that said 50% off all City Edition jerseys, and I could not get the ice blue and white one that I wanted, but I did pick up a Larry Nance Jr. jersey for 50% off.
That's pretty good. And I was going to buy the City Edition hoodie, which is just a blue hoodie with the script Cleveland in white. And they're like, oh, check out our promo code for free shipping. That's not promo code worthy, NBA store. I want at least 20% if I'm putting in a promo code. Free shipping is not a bonus to me. You know what I mean? Free shipping should be free shipping. Don't pretend like you're giving me a deal. I got 50% off
and free shipping, and it came literally overnight, even though I got the free shipping.
Yeah, so why aren't they? So spread that out to the hoodies, Cavs team shop.
Did you look on the official team shop page?
Yeah, I did today. I was literally considering buying the hoodie, and I'm like, if it was buy one, get one free, I would have bought one of the gray ones and one of the white ones, put them in the closet, waited for October for it to be cold again, and put a hoodie on.
It's going to be pretty cold for about 2 more weeks.
Well, I do enjoy the standard fat guy uniform of wearing shorts and a hoodie when applicable. Nice. I don't know how you feel about that. You're not fat anymore. You're pretty skinny now.
I still
and I apologize if I called you fat before. It. You were a big guy before, and now you're skinnier.
If you're gonna call yourself fat, I was over 300 pounds at one point.
You're taller than me, though. I mean,
yeah, right. But I was wearing big clothes.
The Jinkos.
I need to get some Jinkos.
You think those are still being made?
Dude, we're like 2 years away from late 90s nostalgia hitting big. Like, if somebody bought the rights to Jinko jeans right now would be the best time to get it.
It already hit me a little bit because I have a Starter backpack. And I'm aware that Starter became like a Walmart brand. But also, I was like, this is a pretty cool starter backpack, and so that's what I use as my gym bag. It's the starter backpack.
Well, Starter's weird because Walmart bought the rights to them, but then they still operate like making high-end items, which I don't get. Did Walmart just buy the rights to use them as like sports wear, and
Maybe
then Starter still makes like
I think
jackets and stuff?
I bought the backpack from Amazon, and it was not super expensive, but
Okay. Well, like 2 years ago, Champion, I got a pair of brand new Champion sweatpants for $5. And then I was at the store not that long ago, and they're like $60 for the exact same thing because a bunch of trap rappers started wearing them and stuff. And that's like mid 90s. So that's what I mean. We're getting close to Jinko jeans being hot.
I apologize to tell you this so late, but apparently Jinko went out of business in February 2018.
If they could have just held on for like 2 more years, I'm telling you.
Man.
Are they in bankruptcy court? Can somebody swoop in the rights? I will be the guy who makes his fortune bringing back Jinko jeans.
In 2015, Jinko received a cash infusion from a Chinese investor, capitalizing on the return of normcore fashion, which there's a link. I don't know if I want to click it or not. Turns out the demand for tree trunk size pants wasn't quite there. Man, this article was not very informative about the business dealings.
Did you know it stood for Judge None, Choose One?
I just learned that. Similar. Imagine if you wore a pair of Judge None, Choose One pants with a For Us, By Us jersey on top.
I would be the freshest guy at the Kid Rock concert in 1997.
Especially if it was a light blue.
Oh, yeah.
Jersey.
The big FB on it.
Oh, yeah.
Then maybe get a Kangol hat at the same time.
The blog post blamed the end of Jinko on licensing issues. Well, that means they...
So they peaked in 1998 with sales of 186.9 million.
Well, that's a lot to be out of business now. Like, you think you could hold on.
Well, I guess it halved in 1999, and by 2000, the main factory closed.
All right. They're not available on Amazon. And I'm currently signed into my wife's account with the Prime on it, so she thinks I'm shopping for Jinko jeans. It's time to hit eBay, live on the podcast. This is exhilarating podcast listening. But if you guys are Chris Clem and Dave Sterling podcast fans, you expected this. Like, I think we've developed an audience now.
Okay, good.
That, like, they see Dave Sterling and Chris Clem, and they're like, I could put this on and kind of do something else.
Yeah, I mean, if there's nothing happening, you're listening to a Cleveland sports-based podcast in May.
Yeah, it's May. And the Indians
LeBron
can't get hits.
is not on the Cavs.
Yeah. Okay, there were a lot of pairs available on eBay.
Oh, man, there's a pair I think I have to get.
There's some
It says
jorts.
Compact Digital Loop, and it looks like the old Compact Disc logo.
Whoa. What size? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, 34 by 32.
On the podcast. I don't want you
I need to get at least, ideally 38, 36.
Oh, man.
I could make it work.
That digital loop, those are awesome. Like, I'm willing to lose weight to get in those jeans.
Man, just keep being keto for a while, and then you can rock those.
Exactly. Man.
32 is just too short for me, so it's never gonna work out.
Yeah, I got the 30 on that. I think I could do a 38 now.
Yeah?
It was in a 40, but they're all loose, so I'm thinking of switching. No, it's funny that they list an inseam on Jinkos, because, like, the inseam is down by your ankles.
That's true.
Oh, there are no 38
I
by
guess it
30s.
really wouldn't matter.
I guess I should do a 32.
Oh man, I'm about to get a silk dragon shirt to go along with these.
Oh, man. These don't have enough stuff on them. There's a... These are black jeans. This has... Okay, these are a little expensive. These are $70.
Hey man, you got to pay. You pay for what you get. All right.
These are $70, but they have a crown on the butt cheek.
Oh, I saw those. That's pretty good.
They're the Jinkoist of the ones available in my size. The other ones are all pretty plain. I guess those are 140. I'm not doing that. There's the jorts though, like Jinko size 36 Crown Graffiti jorts. Those seem pretty short. Have you seen the jorts? They seem for Jinkos, for as big as the legs were, these jorts seem awfully short. Like that's above the knee. I don't know.
Is that like a newer thing?
I don't know. They're $40. When I got married, I had to forego jean shorts.
Really? Was that a rule?
Yeah. My wife made me throw them all out.
Not a fan of John Cena?
Apparently not. And I said, well, what about for like mowing the lawn? And she's like, nope. Jinko khakis. Drawstring cargo pants.
I don't think I have any jean shorts anymore. Actually, my wife just bought me 3 new pairs of shorts because she doesn't want me to wear cargo shorts. And I'm like, people are hating on cargo shorts for no reason. But if I go somewhere, I do need the pockets. If I go to a concert, I can put all my stuff in my pockets. If I go to Six Flags, or Cedar Point, I can put all the stuff in my pockets on the ride. Like, they have uses.
You know what? I agree with you. And I'll tell you, when I used to go to the DXL Fat Guy store, they literally only had shorts with cargo pockets, which I started calling snack pockets at that point because obviously the bigger men needed to carry snacks with them at all times. I also don't see the hate on it. I think a lot of people pile on for no reason. I have some that are and some that aren't. But apparently they're coming back. I don't see the problem. Like you said, who cares? Who cares if there's extra pockets?
Yeah, stop giving in to pressure. Stop
I'd say
letting people tell you what
I'm going to say cargo pants are off the table. But I think cargo shorts are fine.
I would agree with that. I don't own any cargo pants. I haven't.
Yeah, nobody has. They kind of went away, and that's fine. But yeah, I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem with the cargo shorts.
I still have at least one pair of cargo shorts.
I might somewhere. All of my new shorts, I've made sense. Like I've made sure, like just because I wanted to have like a flatter front, that I've avoided cargo shorts. But it hasn't been like I'm not religious about it. There's no religion based on not liking cargo shorts. Not that I know of. I'm going to Google it.
You could start one. You could start it.
That's true.
This is a great tangent into 90s fashion.
All right. I Googled religion based on not liking cargo shorts, which... No, there isn't one. Okay, other fashion items from the 90s. The shell necklaces. Why?
Oh, puka shell necklaces. I have a friend who in all his old pictures, he's wearing them all the time.
Yeah, I have a friend like that too. His name's Chad.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see. What other silk shirts? Like that was like more middle
Oh, yeah.
school than for me anyway. You were younger than me, but like just solid colors, silk shirts, not comfortable,
Solid
not
color
practical.
ones?
Yeah,
When I was in high school, it'd be like the shirts that had the big screen printed ones. But I also went to Hoban. So like our dress code was you had to wear a collared shirt and then pants. So you could wear like a giant silk shirt with a dragon on it or like a Dragon Ball Z character or whatever. And that would technically be okay.
haha, stick it to him. Take that, Hoban.
Yeah, you tell them. You know, I got some beef with them, actually, and
Hoban?
it's sports related. All right.
Uh-oh.
And actually, I shouldn't say this because he's going to get mad at me, but I find it very upsetting that their Facebook page puts out a notice for the track team, and the Facebook page puts out a notice for the baseball team doing good, but they never, ever mention the lacrosse team, who just coincidentally happened to win their league for like the third year in a row. Just saying.
I'm gonna. I think this was today's. My Facebook memory was. I gotta find it now. I apologize. This is great podcasting, but like I said, people listening to this podcast that have made it this far are fans of this. I'm declaring it. You can't change it.
Yeah, Hoban, congrats to the boys track and field team on winning the 2019 NCL championship. The lacrosse team won. Again, no notice. That's okay. And every once in a while, they'll wish alumni happy birthday. I've never been wished one. My sister's never been wished one. My brother, who works there, has never been wished one. So I'm just saying, if anybody who's ever been connected with their Facebook is listening, you're next on my list after the Stowe Library.
Oh, yeah. It was not this one, but I think I just said that lacrosse was a terrible sport and probably the worst one.
Oh,
do you have connections
you know
to
what?
lacrosse?
I have to say I like lacrosse, but I mean I would never go against my brother like that.
I mean, it seems like they're just kind of running around with sticks for a lot of the time.
It is. But you know what? It's the original game. If you have respect for this country, you should have respect for the Native Americans who invented lacrosse.
I thought they invented the Harry Potter game.
Quidditch?
Yeah.
I can't believe I even know that. You know, how...
I could believe that you know that.
I don't like Harry Potter, though.
That's fine.
I see people online saying they're having Quidditch teams. You can't play Quidditch in real life. You don't have flying broomsticks.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have, what is it called? A flying snitch? That might be wrong. A flying something.
No, it's a snitch. You're right.
It's a snitch. Snitch.
It gets stitches.
Yeah. There was a dude I went to college with who would always wear a giant shirt with the stop sign, and on it said snitching.
I'll take that.
He's also the only person I've ever played pickup basketball with who said he had to stop playing because he was too high to play anymore.
Like one specific day? Or
yeah,
in the league?
Yeah. No. He's like, we've shot for teams because there was only like 10 people in the gym, maybe like 11 at the time. And he played. And then after like 3 points went by, he walked off the court and his teammates were like, why are you leaving? He's like, I'm too high. I thought I could play, but I can't.
That's pretty funny. And you couldn't do that on the lacrosse field.
Yeah, that's true. You already have your helmet on and a stick.
Yeah, and somebody would have hit you with their stick.
Yeah, somebody on a Tuesday night at 10 p.m. who's taking it way too seriously.
Rec lacrosse.
Callback.
Yeah, callback. And on that callback note, 54 minutes in, I'm going to say, Chris, this has been very fun for me.
This has been a great 24 minutes of podcasting.
This has been Great fun for me. I hope it's been great fun for you. The listeners, can't speak for them. As far as them liking it, I enjoyed it.
I feel like since we're wrapping up, we gotta talk bad about Mr. Craig.
Yeah, we do, because we talked earlier that he doesn't produce podcasts anymore. He's out of the game. All he does is sit on his perch in Chagrin Falls.
Just thinks about new movies to show.
And they haven't even done that. Like, where's the movies?
Did they ever find somebody to rent out the back office?
I don't even know.
Now, if you want to live somewhere, you want to live in the back of their insurance company.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, it'll be safe.
That's true.
All your stuff will be covered.
That's true.
But you got to deal with Craig's thrash metal all the time.
Oh, yeah.
He's a real metalhead, that guy.
You got to hear him rant about how Cake gets overplayed on Lithium when they weren't that big in the 90s.
You know what burns my butt about Lithium? Don't play Pearl Jam because there's a Pearl Jam channel, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
There's a whole channel. Go over there.
As a non-Pearl Jam fan, if I hear Nirvana or Pearl Jam, it's an instant channel changer for me.
I agree. Do you set up the favorites on your satellite radio?
Oh, yeah. I got my top 10 because they record, so I can like rewind back on those songs on those 10 stations.
Nice. I got I got the favorite artist set that'll tell me when my favorite artist comes on. I got
What's your top stations on there?
Road Trip Radio.
I didn't even know that existed.
It's 301.
Okay.
It's excellent. It's just a good mix of all sorts of stuff. Frankly, because I'm old, Yacht Rock Radio up at 311.
Hey, Yacht Rock is my number 10.
I like a Lithium. I've been more into First Wave than Lithium lately. Maybe it's just because I'm old.
Could be.
Now, you probably like Nitro and Octane and
my number one station is Turbo. My number 2 is LL Cool J's Rock the Bells Radio.
Oh, I need to find that one.
Number 3 right now is probably Liquid Metal, but sometimes it's just a hip hop station. But right now I'm into metal more.
Sometimes I'll just go down in the decade channels.
Oh, that's good too.
Roll around down there.
I like to call the 90s on 9 is a lot of times like my 8th grade dance music.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, 300 is Celebration, which is like if you don't want to hire a DJ for your wedding, you just put that on. It's like a bunch of dance hits.
Nice.
And then 301 is Road Trip Radio, which is good. And one thing I would love to like, because sometimes they play music I like, is Sirius XMU. But then a lot of times it's a band I've never heard of playing a song that sounds terrible. And I will agree with Craig about the DJs. They don't need to talk.
Oh, I heard this guy Hardy on Lithium do his live read for the Netflix is a Joke channel, and I was like, if you're getting paid to read this is terrible. Obviously, it's for another Sirius channel, so they're not going to care. But nothing made me not want to listen to it more than this guy talk about comedy. He sounded like a bitter stand-up who didn't make it. He just complained, and he's like, these aren't funny, but if you like comedy, you should listen to this channel, and let's hear what these comedians have for jokes if you like comedy. And I was like, yeah, let's play another the 8th Nirvana song this hour while you complain about comedy.
Up next, Silverchair.
Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Here's my problem with the DJs, especially on, like, I understand on the Decade channel, they got the original VJs, stuff like that. But like on XMU, it's like, and I'm going to even use his name. Hey, this is Josiah. If you want to see Billy Corgan playing a harp, he's going to be playing a harp in the lobby of the St. Louis Public Library on Saturday, which sounds like a really cool event to see. It's once in a lifetime to see Billy Corgan playing a harp in a library, and I'm definitely going to check that out. Anyway, here's Tinkle Shits with shit tinkles. And then the song comes on, and it's just somebody going, and I like that kind of music a lot of the time, you know? But it just becomes such a parody of itself.
I was all on board for this, and I'm pretty sure I've heard that Josiah guy, and that's a pretty good impression. But then I realized that there's a guy on Turbo named Steve Cavino who every time he plays the Metallica song 2x4, which apparently is a lot because I've heard it like 12 times, enough that I tweeted about it. He always will reference Hacksaw Jim Duggan from the old school WWF before he plays the song. And you know what? That's actually my like perfect type of DJ.
Yeah, I'm fine with you using the same bit every time. I'd even be fine if they pre-recorded it. Like intros to certain songs they just already had, and they just play it at the same time. It's time to automate.
Well, I mean, they're doing it from home, most of them anyways.
There you go. How do you get that gig?
That's what I'm like, I could totally do this from my house. Give me a microphone. I'll
tell
bring
you one
up
thing. This podcast is not a gateway into doing that. This has not been a good audition
on the
tape.
reel.
No. We're going to leave this one off.
Can I do an air track then before we close out?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
My audition.
Let's wrap it up with your audition for Sirius XM.
Are you going to like call me out, or are we just wrapping up the song?
All right. Which channel are you doing?
I'm doing Turbo.
Okay, so hold on. Darkness, all that I see. Something or something. Absolute.
Yes, you just heard Metallica 1. And up next, one of my favorite white boys from 1998. Put on that red cap and turn it backwards because it's time to go rolling with Fred Durst, Limp Bizkit, rolling on Sirius XM Turbo.
Okay, I am going to do the Josiah version of that.
Okay. Boo, 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 boo.
Hey guys, it's Josiah. I don't know if you're on Facebook a lot, but there is an event set up by some loyal fans that says that Limp Bizkit is playing a gas station show in Dayton, Ohio, at a Sunoco. Well, unfortunately, even though the band tweeted about it, it's not real, so you can't go to that show. But here's Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit with Nookie.